Hello, I'm Andy, and I'm going to use Kabbalistic tarot cards to predict for you coming from Virgo and to predict the month of January 2017. Let me give them a quick shuffle. And the first card that I'm going to pull will be to do with your romance or your marriage or your family areas. So let me pull the first card. Now, regarding your romance areas, it's a good card. And it shows the possibilities of finding romance very easily. Now I'm going to divide the card into two, as I always do, and the first half of the card is to represent the first half of the month of January. So regarding your romance, there is quite a lot of excitement during the first 15 days. You are able to not only have one romance but more than two romances, so you are in demand in the first 15 days as far as romance is concerned. The second half of the card, which represents the second half of January, it shows that it's better for you now to think of romance as a short term rather than a long term. Why? Because you are not able to get through exactly to make the romance as stable as you want to. So the first half of the month shows romance coming or stability also seen, but the second half shows that while the romance is still there or possible, the stability is not seen. And it shows that you are standing on sharp instruments, which means that there could be disagreements or arguments in the second half of January for you as far as romance is concerned. Regarding marriage, the first half of the card shows a lot of stability, a lot of harmony, a lot of agreements, and the ability to cope with all situations, and a happy period is seen. The second half of the card is not really bad, but it shows some delays and frustration as to how some things that were agreed upon in the marriage are not becoming fully able to be done in the second half of the month. So some frustration is shown in the second half of the month. Again, it shows the inability for you, because I'm talking to you, coming from Virgo, a bit difficulty for you in Virgo for the second half of January to cope with the demands made for you. So there is stress seen for you in areas of marriage in the second half of the month. The first half is fully under control, the second, some stress is seen. In general family areas, the only thing I worry about is that financially the whole family may not get what they want immediately. So you have to tell your partner or your children that they have to wait for a little bit. Patience would be the key word. The second card I'm going to pull would be to do with your career, your business, and your financial area. And it's facing me. Now, for the first half of the month, so I'm going to divide the card into two and look at the upper portion or to understand it. And the first half of the month shows in your career areas as you got what you wanted and you're able to have more than enough of status and recognition. But it also shows an overflow of goodness, which means that perhaps too much responsibility is being given to you, and therefore either jealousy from others in your career area or the inability to cope. So you have to work well with your colleagues to get their support, and you have to work well with your superiors to get their support. And if you do that, you'll find that the first half of January 2017 for you coming from Virgo is going to produce a lot of benefits in career and good news as well. The second half of the month regarding your career shows that you are in a position where very quickly too much of responsibility is put on you. So stress enters into the second half of the month. But the card also shows that you are able to cope. So I would think the best way to look at the second half of the month would be to immediately sort out the urgent problems in your career and not to worry about long-term issues. That way you will be able to solve problems quite quickly during the second half of the month which crop up. Now, regarding business, The first half of the month shows that you are attracting long-term contracts, you are making long-term good business contacts, and so that shows that what you want is filling up your cup with very nice good things, and even profits are possible. But the second half of the month shows that you may have taken on too much, and so you are able to cope with short-term business demands, but not the long-term business demands anymore. So position yourself for the whole month of January to tackle immediate demands made of you in business areas, and to leave the long-term issues or long-term planning for another month. This way you will do well enough for the whole month of January in business areas. General financial areas are seen as quite steady. There's always some money coming in and money going out, and you have control, and you are in a position where you are not high and dry. So the month of January for you coming from Virgo is going to be pretty good enough in business. Your general financial areas seem to be quite steady, so that's the good news. The next card I'm going to pull would be to do with your health areas, and it's facing you, so you have control. Now, the main issue here is that a good life and enjoyment may be overabundant, and so watch out that your stomach areas, number one, and if you have gastric problems especially, and if you are a woman, watch out of putting on too much weight in the month of January. And my other worry would be that, now the water is being turned upside down, so there may be a water problem. So if you are going swimming in the month of January, I would say play safe. The other thing regarding water is that you may have a tendency to have water in the lungs, which means coughs and colds may bother you in the month of January. Nothing very serious happening health-wise in the month of January, except for if you're going to eat and drink too much, then also work out as much as you can. So overall, a pretty okay month for you in January, for you coming from Virgo. Now, if you have questions for me, go to Facebook and follow me, and you'll be able to ask me questions on Facebook, and I'll be able to answer them. Okay? Thank you for listening to me, and goodbye.